Okay guys, today we're going to learn how to take the governor out of a 6.5 horsepower clone engine. This is a common thing that everybody wants to learn how to do, so I'm going to show you how to do it. Inside this side cover is where the physical governor gear sits. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get this cover off. We need to loosen the tank and set it up and out of the way so we can get to the governor gear that's here, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Then we're going to pull the side cover. Then we're going to get, that allows access to the actual governor gear, which we're going to pop off, and then we're going to put everything back together. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and loosen the 3 bolts that are on the tank. There's one in this area here that I'll show you in a hard picture in a few minutes here. And then there's 2 bolts that are here that we have to get to. And I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, we've loosened the tank up. There's 3 bolts. A couple notes about that. Pull the spark plug wire off, and you can take a 6-inch extension with a 10mm socket on it to get to the bolt that sits here. You'll actually get it from inside here. You got to hold the throttle lever open in order to be able to clear for the socket, but it can be done like this. The other 2 are standard. Either use a socket and a ratchet on it, or you can use a wrench on either one. The point of doing all that is so that we can get to this particular governor arm. Now I've gone ahead and loosened that up, and you have to take that off in order to be able to do this job. You just wiggle them. Pick him up out of the way. Alright, we just want to get him out of our way, and that was the whole point of taking that bolt out. In addition to that, if you look here, you can see that there is a little cotter key, and we're going to go ahead and pull that out. Set him to the side, and then there's a little itty bitty washer here that sits on top of there. And we'll set him to the side as well. Now that arm there is free to move downward. It won't go all the way down by itself anyways, but we need to have that free and out of our way, just so we can have access to the gear that we're going to be getting off here. There are 6 bolts that hold the side cover on. We are going to go ahead and blast those off of here. I've already got them broke loose. We're going to go ahead and blast them off of there. Trusty ratchet. A couple things to take note of here, some things that you want to pay attention to. The goal here is to try to get that cover off without damaging the gasket. I happen to have another gasket sitting here waiting to go on in case I rip this one. What we want to do is we want to pull that cover off and hopefully keep the gasket intact so we can use it again. If you don't, then you're going to have to order parts and wait on a new gasket to get here. I'm going to use this dead blow hammer to tap on the around the perimeter of the side cover, and I'm going to be putting pressure on at the oil-filled dipstick to try to pull it outward. As I do that, and instantly it starts coming off. And you want to make sure you've got the oil drained by this point as well. Okay, you can hear it coming. It's got a little oil seepage, but that's to be expected. Also take note of where the oil seal is relative to the case. It's sitting about flush with the side cover here. Sometimes when you pull this off or when you put the side cover back on, that gasket or that seal will shift. We're going to go ahead and pull him off of there. Okay, we will set our cover to the side. Leave him back there. We'll deal with his gasket surfaces later. Now what's important to notice here, I'm going to take the camera for a second. I'm going to show you where the gear is. First thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a break just for a second so I can get a screw in this end right here so I can turn this engine over, because you need to get the crankshaft out of the way. If you look in there, I'm not sure how well my light is, but there's a gear back there. Hold the light here. I'm going to try to touch it with a screwdriver or something here. That gear right there, that is in fact the governor gear, and our goal is to get that out of this case. Okay, I went ahead and rotated the crankshaft to where we've got a good open space here. I want to show you something how this thing works. This is the bottom of the governor arm right here, and it presses up against what I call a button. There are 2 little pieces in here that when the engine turns, it turns that plastic gear and causes these to come outward. Now I'm going to manually push this outward. Watch what happens to the governor arm when I do that. If you noticed, if you didn't catch it, it pushed it out. I'll do it again. Pushes it out. And that's how your governor works. Centrifugal force swings those weights out, and pushes the arm out, which in turn pulls the throttle back to what it considers to be a suitable RPM. I'm going to go ahead and move them out of the way. Sitting on there is a little button. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Just pull them on out of there like that. Okay. Alright, and notice that there's a little washer attached to him. It's not attached, he's sitting there floating in oil. Got to make sure that comes out as well. We'll go ahead and set that to the side. We won't be needing those again. Now if you look inside here, deep inside here, I'm going to take a picture of this and try to focus a little bit more on it. Underneath, on the pin that holds this gear on, it's almost like a little round spring-loaded clip. What you have to do is you got to get that clip out of there. Once that clip is out of there, then the gear will slide right off and you're good to go. You just put everything back together. But that, in fact, is what the battle is in taking these things off of here, is getting that pin. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and I'm going to go ahead and get a picture of this clip, and then we'll be right back. Alright, I went ahead and took the shot. We're going to go ahead and try to get that little clip out of there. And what I do is I take a screwdriver such as the one that I got here, and I try to catch the edge of it and pop it out. Okay, that's popped him back some at least. Okay, I've been holding the clip here. That was our little problem child. We went ahead and was finally able to reach in there, grab them with a pair of needle nose pliers and pull them out of there. Alright, we got our clip off now. Now we're just going to pull the governor off, governor gear off. These are trusty needle nose. Wiggle them off of there. And here it comes. Alright, you pull them straight out, set them to the side. Alright, and that's what you're left with. You see a small shaft in there. That's what that wheel was riding on. A couple pointers that I want to make for you is you got to remember, getting that clip out, do not tap too hard. I'm going to tell you for a matter of fact, don't ask me how I know, but this area back here where the screwdriver's at is a very thin area. If you hit too hard, that area is going to cave and your engine is going to be done at that point. Notice I've got a little piece of scrap on the end of my screwdriver. You also have to look out for any pieces of the plastic governor wheel. Make sure you don't have any remnants left in there. And I've got plenty, and I'm going to clean it out before I put this engine back together. The other thing that's very important to note, that side cover holds on your camshaft. And so when you pull that side cover out, the camshaft's free to move around, and you have to be certainly sure that you have not thrown your cam timing off. And I'm going to go ahead and show you where the cam timing's correct place is. I'm going to go ahead and put mine in the correct spot, just in case yours goes off. And you see a dot here, and then there's another dot here. Those dots should be lined up when they meet each other. And that is the correct position for cam timing. If when you spin your engine around, your cam and your crankshaft dots line up, then you're in good shape. But that has happened where that's accidentally come out and never even realized. You do need to be wary that so your camshaft doesn't come out. Okay, that's it. The governor wheel's off. You got to put everything back together in the reverse order that it went on. Make sure you clean your case out real good while you're in here. Any rag remnants in my case, and more importantly, any plastic pieces that are left from the governor